Share Aviation, a network for pilots by pilots.
Hi, welcome to my new mini-series. I'm just documenting the process of getting my IMC rating, or because we're under EASA now in the UK, it'll be the IR restricted. So basically, for those of you who don't know what the IR restricted is, or you don't have it in your country, what it is basically it is a restricted instrument rating. So you don't do the full syllabus as you would for an instrument rating, and as a consequence you don't get all of the complete privileges of an instrument rating, but it does allow you to fly through bad weather. That is certainly not VFR, and it allows you to do precision and non-precision instrument approaches. It's actually fairly similar to the instrument rating, but the minima are higher than the instrument rating. It's also only valid in the UK, so if you had an IMC rating, or IR restricted, I'll start calling it now, then you would not be able to use it in Europe. But it's also just a really good kind of stepping stone going up to the full instrument rating, and it's a good kind of way of improving your skills as a pilot, because you have to be that much more accurate and that much more kind of on it when it comes to radio. So today I did my first flight under proper kind of simulated IMC with my instructor, and I just wanted to tell you about it. So my first flight, we went up and did about 50 minutes of under the hood simulated instrument flying, and mainly what that was holding headings, holding altitudes, and then climbing and descending and doing small heading adjustments, or doing standard rate turns onto new headings, and that was more or less it. It was, it's the kind of IMC version of the VFR straight and level flight. So it's kind of the pure basics, but it's the kind of groundwork that you need to be really comfortable with in order to progress. So that's all it was today, and I thought I'd just share how I found it. So I'm a VFR pilot at the moment, and I've got about 115 hours under my belt at the moment, and mainly the kind of flying that I do is flying either myself just for fun, or flying with friends, but I've been building up hours since I got my license, just doing that and trying to gain as much experience as possible. So I've been trying to fly in and out of different types of airfields, so that I can kind of get some experience on what different kinds of places are like, and just kind of be as varied as possible, and try and push my skills and be as good a pilot as possible. So for me, having only really flown VFR before, there was an hour of inadvertent IMC awareness stuff in the PPL course. I found it actually at first pretty disorientating. I found that when I had the hood on, and I couldn't see where I was going with visual reference outside the cockpit, and those needles are and the gauges and stuff are all that you've got to go on, and really the attitude indicator is your mainstay. It's pretty disorientating, because without looking at the attitude indicator, it's pretty difficult to know exactly how you're tipped, whether you're going up or down, what your airspeed feels like, and you can get some sensations that you're quite used to meaning one thing. So like for example, I had at one point the sensation that I was speeding up, and that's really what it felt like. But looking at the instruments, it was straight and level. So it was certainly quite disorientating at first, but it really helps you to learn to trust the instruments that you're flying with. It's going to take some adjusting, but it should be kind of good experience in the end. And the other thing to talk about is that the radio calls need to be that much more sharp when it comes to IMC flying. So that's something that's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me, brush up on my radio skills, but it'll be a good thing in the end. So that's the end of my first flight, and I'll make another one after my second flight.